So guys, welcome back to the CSA Forex channel, and it's a pleasure having you guys here. This is the non-farm payroll for November. Today, in a few hours from now, we're going to be having the non-farm payroll for the month of November, and we are going to be focusing on the US dollar. We're going to be focusing on the DXY to have a good enough understanding of the possible direction that the market should go, right? And of course, as a quick advice for you, if you do not have any directional bias today, going into the big data, the non-farm payroll NFP, for those that haven't heard about the NFP before, it has to do with the unemployment rates of the US. It's a key indicator to how the economy is faring, right? So whenever the numbers come out, it's always something that a lot of traders look out for to try to trade. But then I always advise, do not trade the news directly. Why? Because the volatility is bound to be high. And if you have checked the calendar, right, I'm just going to switch over to the calendar quickly. If you have checked the calendar for this week, you'll notice that we had a lot of data in the market for the week. This is the calendar right in front of us, right from Monday all the way down to today, Friday. We've had dollar, we had the FOMC on Wednesday, and of course, the one that we are talking about now, which is what? The non-farm payroll unemployment rate coming out by 1:30 p.m., right? And this is Nigerian time. So this is one that we need to pay full attention to because during this period, right, where we have news for CAD and then dollar highlighting today, right? During this period, the volatility is going to be high, spread is going to be on the high. We probably would have whipsaws, probably might have slippage, and a whole lot of other things might happen today. And that's why you need to be cautious, you need to be careful while trading today, right? Now, for what we have over here, right, we're looking for a forecast of 178K. So depending on what we have here, if it is higher or lower, we can check on the information here under the usual effect. And usual effect states what? It states that if actual is greater than forecast, then it is good for the currency. So if we have the numbers for here, we have actual, we have the forecast and then the previous. So this is the forecast over here at 178K. So if the actual, right, is greater, then that means that it is good, and that means that we should be buying the US dollar, and that means that the US dollar should appreciate, right? The US dollar, the DXY should appreciate today. Now, with that said, if we cross back to the chart, I'm going to show you something interesting from two time frames. That is the hourly time frame and then also the daily time frame. Higher time frames are always good to have a good, bigger picture of what's happening in the market. First things first, if you look at the hourly, you can see that it's all I call this. It's a rangy market. It's dirty. It's sideways, as you can see over here. Lots of sideways from last week and even to till this week as well. This week has been nothing but rangy market, which has been deceiving a lot of traders that are trading the dollar denominated pairs, the likes of the Euro USD, the major currency pairs basically, Euro USD, GBP USD, AD USD, and the rest of them, right? So on the hourly, we've been having a sideways market, but then there's something I want to show you, right, based on the daily time frame. If you look at the daily time frame here, we've been following for a while now. If you've been with us for a while, you'll notice that we've had this long-term box here, this long-term box over here, showing that the market has been ranging throughout the year, right? From the beginning of the year up till now, it has basically been in a range sideways action. It gave us a fake out here, and then now it has broken to the top of that range, and then it is sitting at the top of that range. But the interesting thing now that we have as sitting on top of the range, don't forget this is from the daily time frame perspective, is that after this bullish run, this wave over here, because you can call it a wave, this wave over here, you notice something that we then had this wedge, we had this triangle, as you can see, and as we had this triangle, now look at what happened. It has broken out of the wedge of the triangle, and then now it has come back to retest it. So under normal circumstances, what we should be expecting at this area here is a bullish continuation, and that is to the upside. And then we need to wait to see whether today's NFP will be in line with it based on the directional bias of this. And then don't forget, you must always combine the fundamentals with the technicals. So when the fundamental tells you to buy, you must also consult your chart and look for areas where you're supposed to buy, which happens to be the areas of support. Yeah, support is where we buy, and then resistance is where we sell. So this is what is of interest to me now based on what we have over here. And then one thing I could always say is that from here, you could always drop down to lower time frames to have an understanding of what's going on and see how you can take advantage. If you look, we have a sort of bullish pin bar here that might even be the go-to for the 4 hours time frame to push higher. And then your stop loss will just be below the pin bar over here. And of course, if we drop down to hourly time frame, the one we're looking at now, you would also notice that it is the same thing, which is sideways. But you notice that we've had some clarity now based on that wedge. I can see how the price has been reacting in this area over here, showing that there is support and resistance when we have trend lines, not just horizontal lines. And you can see what we have over here. So as it's sitting over here, we're expecting it to push higher in today and maybe even next week and so on, because it has been ranging a bit on the daily time frame. But then where it is now, you can see how many times it has come back and it has always pushed higher, pushed higher, pushed higher. Now it's back to this point, and I'm expecting it to push higher even the more again. So all we have to do is to wait and see how the market plays out. Do not try to be a hero. And then don't forget that this information is strictly for educational purposes, right? So with that said, let's just put it back to the daily because I'm keeping an eye on this on the daily time frame. And of course, we could also even have a nice candlestick pattern on the daily, but then traders drop down to lower time frames just to look for a smaller entry based on smaller stop loss for a much bigger take profit. Because assuming your area of take profit is somewhere here, right? You can see this area here. I picked this area here because it is unique with this area as resistance, support, support, and you can see some resistance here. So if the market were to go all the way to this point here, and then you could enter on maybe like 4 hours or hourly time frame or 30 minutes or whatever on a lower time frame, and you get maybe like 20 pips stop loss or something, and then you're going for about 400 pips take profit, right? That would be an awesome one for any trader. And that's just what I want you to consider, because then it will simply mean that you don't have to take too many trades. You just have to wait for the best of the best for them to come, and then you simply just pick them. And of course, they might not come on a weekly basis. You may have to wait a week or two before you find a good trade that you will be comfortable with. But the problem now is that most traders, they don't have that patience, they don't have that discipline to be able to wait for trades to come. And even when they enter trades, they still don't have that patience or discipline to wait for the trades to play out, right? Now, with that said, I want to say thank you guys for joining me. It has indeed been a good one. If this video has been helpful in any way, you know what to do. Give it a thumbs up, comment below if you have any questions. And if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. Guys, do not try to be a hero in today's NFP. That's a big warning. You don't have any directional bias. The best thing to do is to sit on your hands. You can switch off your system and then go and sleep or watch TV or whatever, and then come back and see how the market reacted to the news. Okay, thank you guys. This has indeed been a good one. Enjoy the rest of the day, and goodbye for now. Cheers.